Hello, this is Baxun coming at you this week with another Baxun Presents. Last week we did the cream of the crop, the top 5 Pokemon regions. Go check it out if you haven't watched it already. This week I decided to go ahead and mix things up and let's scrub the bottom of the barrel here. So I'm coming at you now with the top 10 worst Pokemon moves. Let's go ahead and start off with some dishonorable mentions. We've got Self Destruct. It was on my list of moves I hate, but it didn't make the top 10. Um, it kills your Pokemon. You're always running into Geodudes that are blowing themselves up. Um, but it has a purpose. If you've got 1 health left and you want to sacrifice your Pokemon, then that's great. You're going to do a lot of damage. But really, I'm not a fan of sacrificing my Pokemon, so it's not really a move for me. And then the other is the Protect Detect combo. They're like the same move basically. Um, I think they're just a waste of time. They delay the inevitable. If you're using it to keep your Pokemon alive, maybe if you've got like a Dragonite raining down on you with Draco meteors or an outrage, you want to block it once so that you can send somebody else out or just negate the damage and continue on. I could see it, but still it's kind of a waste of time. Number 10, Supersonic. Um, it's a move. It's got 55 accuracy, but it'll confuse the enemy's Pokemon. But confusion is kind of pointless. Really, it's luck. I swear it only affects opposing Pokemon 10% of the time. Well, it affects my Pokemon 90% of the time. So, and it always hits me every time. Those freaking Zubat, and I don't know, it's just a really annoying move, and I hate it. Number 9, Frustration. Um, it's equal but opposite to Return, but it's more aggravating. So Return, as your Pokemon bonds with you, the attack becomes stronger. Well, the opposite is true for Frustration. As your Pokemon grows to hate you, it becomes more powerful. It's kind of like the dark side of the Force. But to get your Pokemon to hate you, it has to die. You have to, you put it in the box and it'll lose some, it'll revert back to its default, or if you trade it. But then, to get it to actually hate you and have the most power, you have to do things like, feed it energy root, stuff that it hates, and or let it die. Just continually have it KO'd in battle. And then if you have it in your party and you're walking around, there's a chance to raise your friendship level with it. So really, it's really just aggravating to get a Pokemon to hate you. And so to get this to be a strong move is really pointless. Number 8, Faint. Um, Faint does nothing unless Protect or Detect are used, which we already know I hate those moves, but originally it wasn't too bad of an attack. It had 50 base power, but then they nerfed it down to 30, which, it's not horrible. It's not like 10, but I don't know. That's not a very strong attack. And again, if Protect or Detect aren't used, it fails and does nothing. Number 7, Mud and Water Sport. Now, the Pokemon that usually learn these are already resistant to that type. You've got Geodudes rubbing itself with mud to lower electricity's power. That doesn't, wow. that's so helpful. Now the electricity, I mean, it does like 25 instead of 50% damage, but you're already resistant to that type. And I mean, it may be useful in double battles, but they're not really all that common. And I don't know, they're just not. It's just kind of another pointless move. Number 6, Bestow. Now, with Bestow, you actually give an item to an opponent. After a trainer battle, you get it back, but if you do it to a wild Pokemon, you lose that item. I mean, really, if the opponent already gave their Pokemon an item, it has absolutely no point because it's going to fail. I mean, it has a few uses. I mean, if you're fighting a electric type gym or a flying type gym, you don't have any electric Pokemon. All you've got is ground. I don't know why you're running around with a ground team. I mean, if it's a mono type challenge, then okay. I mean, you can use Bestow to give the opposing Pokemon a Iron Ball and make them fall to the ground so that you can hit them with ground type attacks since it's a flying type and it's immune to them usually. But I mean, really, who wants to give an item away? Not me. Number 5. Now I know what you're thinking. What could be worse than giving an item away with Bestow? How about Fling? Let's throw an object at the opponent, and then the opponent or the object is gone forever. A lot of it doesn't have a lot of base power either, so it depends on the item you throw. If you throw an Iron Ball, that's 120 base power, which is great, but Iron Balls are really rare, so it's only those rare items that have lots of power. I mean, you can throw objects that do 40 base power, which again isn't terrible, but I mean there's better moves that don't require throwing away money. Number 4, Momento. This move is terrible. Your Pokemon sacrifices itself to lower stats of the opposition. It lowers a special attack and the normal attack, which is great, but it causes your Pokemon to faint. And then it does 0, zilch, nada, none, zero, nothing, no damage at all. Why? Number 3, Present. Present, I mean, it's kind of a gimmick comical move, which is great. It's Delibirds' special move, but I mean, it has a 1 out of 5 chance of healing the opposing Pokemon. And it only has a 10% chance of having a base power of 120. On average, you're, right around 52, which is 52 is not bad. Not bad at all, but you heal the opposing Pokemon 20% of the time. Why would you heal your enemy? Number 2, Splash. Splash, it's self-explanatory. The move does nothing but take up space in the game. I mean, sure, it gives Magikarp a reason to be there, gives him something so he's not just struggling all the time. He's got to have a move, right? But it does nothing. Why isn't it limited to Magikarp? I mean, I understand Gyarados knowing it because Gyarados is his evolution, but Wailord? Why does Wailord need to learn Splash? It does nothing. And number 1, I know what you're thinking. What could be worse than Splash? Well, it's Metronome. Metronome, it's don't get me wrong, it's a fun move sometimes, but there's so many things wrong with it. Firstly, no Gen 5 Pokemon learn Metronome. The only Gen 4 Pokemon that learn Metronome are baby Pokemon of previous Pokemon or previous generations. The move is kind of dying out, which I think is great because it's a horrible move. Firstly, yeah, it has a chance of being it's awesome to watch like a Togepi use Blast Burn, but it could be any move. You could have self-destruct. I've had self-destruct. My last Pokemon has used self-destruct because I thought, hey, let's use Metronome. Woo! I lost the battle. It has a chance, it could be ineffective. You're fighting a fire type and all of a sudden you're using a grass type move. And it has a chance of failing. You could be fighting a ghost type and you're like, oh, let's use Metronome. It's all I've got left. And then it's a fighting type move. It's a low kick. Why? So it has a chance of doing nothing all the time, half the time, more than half the time. I swear, 3/4 of the time, it's like Leer. Why? Why would you use this move? It's almost as pointless as Splash, unless it is Splash. Or worse, Momento. Anyways, thanks for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'll throw the links in the description. I really enjoy doing these videos for you guys. I enjoy seeing the likes and the views go up. Keep it up. And I look forward to the rest of our adventures together.